And introduce the players. 75 and 46 is SOS. He's tied in first place in the winners rankings. 4-2 versus Zerg. Only 6 matches played against Zerg this season. That's actually incredibly small considering how many times he's been fielded and how many wins he has. A good matchup for him, obviously. He's got 4-1 with his recent 5 games. Got a lot of momentum on this guy's shoulder. He just recently won IEM. Took home the winner takes all prize there. And he's been called $$O$ for this reason.
Yeah. This guy, I was a bit surprised when I saw him coming out first. You know, usually him and Maru, they like to save him for the end, you know, be those big 2 guys to kind of bring through the win there for JINAIR. But sending him out first, you know, it's a good way to get momentum, definitely. And he's up against Shine here, a guy so far who's only 6'6", 3-4 against Protoss. A lot of games against Protoss. He loves to cheese. In his most recent 5 games, he only has 1 win. I feel like he definitely was a bit more successful at the beginning of Pro League.
Oh, absolutely. He did have a nice little run in Code S as well, eliminating Flash actually from Code A and having a decent finish there in his group in the round of 32. But you know, Shine's a player who you can never underestimate his cheeses. I mean, like I said before, I really feel like he's going to do a cheese. We just don't know which one.
Yeah, he definitely has a very important role to play, trying to go against SOS first. And as I said before, he is a very practiced player. I definitely think if they can beat SOS, Samsung have a great chance.
Absolutely, but they've got to do that. That's a pretty tough task. Let's jump into game number 1. And these 2 incredible teams, these incredible players, right now.
Up here in the top right, in the green for JINAIR Green Wings, it is SOS.
JINAIR Green Wings fan here with a super sick sign. Listen to his favorite players from each race. Down near the bottom left, in pink, for Samsung Galaxy Con, the biggest cheeser, #1 on the world's list of known cheesers. It's Shine.
And that sound at the start definitely brought back some memories of Brood War.
Yeah, certainly. Made me feel good. Made me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Feel a little bit tingly.
So it looks like we actually have not only drones, but an Overlord. And even potentially looks like a drone scout here. So
hey,
not Swiss cheese on this one.
Maybe.
Not Swiss cheese. Maybe, you know, that Gorgonzola. You get a little bit later here.
We might actually see like a macro game from Shine.
Yeah, you know, he's actually eliminated Flash in such a fashion. Shocking, famous commentator Artosis. He was really surprised to have that happen, but it did happen. In a macro game, Flash lost. Shine definitely has it in him to play macro games, even though he does have a lot more success with his cheeses. And I feel like in this situation, there are GG girls back here. In this situation,
I'm there too. Look at me.
Oh, look you.
Whoa.
I hope I get on camera every single time that happens.
I think you will. But going back to what I was saying, I feel like it's a good idea to cheese in this case against SOS, because playing him in a straight-up game is definitely not going to be the easiest way to approach.
Well, I mean, look at it as like a mind game. Like, obviously, SOS and JINAIR are going to be really expecting Shine, of all people, to be cheesing, seeing it is SOS. And but, I mean, imagine if Shine plays like a very straight-up, powerful macro game, and, like, no, they haven't been practicing against that at all. They've been practicing to cheese.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to kind of look at it in terms of mind games and how exactly this player is playing. Seeing Shine hasn't been put out as much as the other players, maybe he's been practicing macro this whole time.
Definitely a possibility. Well, SOS does drop a Nexus first, adds a gateway, is actually going to lurk around here at the 3rd base. Does not get the block.
Doesn't get the block.
He was waiting for that too. Big mistake moving from there. Maybe he was assuming it was going to be a 2-base, considering it wasn't down already. But,
yeah. Just a little bit off there. Obviously, no forger, he can't cannon. He almost looked like he was going to try to fake it there for a second, but then he remembered that Shine already saw his base.
Well, he moves it towards the back of the hatchery and forces the drone to come off and scout. So, you know, it's a little bit of harassment there, a little bit of economic damage, though very minute.
Yeah. Those girls over there were rooting for Samsung. They're like, oh, it's been a really long time, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. I've missed them dearly.
I'm sure they did a lot of research before choosing Samsung here.
Yeah, yeah. They wouldn't just go ahead and, you know.
They wouldn't just
them,
pick it because the other girls picked the other one.
No, no.
No chance of that.
No, not at all.
Not even a chance. Oh, look at this Overlord. He's following a probe.
It's kind of cute.
That's kind of distracting, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually so funny.
Maybe he knows that's like the builder probe.
He's like, this is the one. This is the one that's going to make the Stargate. I have to follow it.
And important scout for SOS. He did scout that there was no early gases at all for Shine, so he knows there's any kind of aggression is not going to happen anytime soon. It's going to be a very straight-up macro game. Very late kind of gas, maybe 6 minute, judging by the layout.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's literally all the way in the top left corner. Could not get more top left than that.
I think he might hide some gateways over there.
Could be gateway, could be DT.
Could be DTs also, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to be a Forge.
No, no.
I truly hope not.
No, you know, hidden robo bays or anything like that. None of that. It's going to be a Twilight Council.
Twilight Council.
And that's heading on the way towards that DT you guys were talking about.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a small chance he's actually hiding a really fast blink build, but
He could.
DT seems to be more reasonable. This Overlord is actually like walking a tightrope right now. He hasn't seen anything, but that's not enough information to lead him to assume that something really crazy is going on.
He could be like super safety first and kind of put a spore at every base, considering he hasn't scouted anything and he's kind of nervous. That definitely could happen. That would be the smartest choice, obviously, considering it is going to be DT. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I mean, the Zerling even gets in here now, so I feel like he's oh my god, this
wow.
Stalker's going to clear an Overlord. I think that's pretty telling, though. That's a pretty weird place for a Stalker to be, but it's actually going to further supply block him. I think he needs to put Blind Spores, because even if it's a Stargate, that's going to be useful, right?
Yeah.
Start to lair, that's going to be pretty helpful here as well. I think he shouldn't take too much damage from this.
You can tell that Shine knows something's going on. He's sending that Zergling around. He's trying to find some buildings. Unfortunately, he did not take the top left corner because he knows that Stalker was on the way back to defend, so at least he did scout that third base. Did not see it, but now it's going up.
He actually forgot to add Overlords early, so he's actually missing a lot of production time here. Like, when he saw these Overlords were dying, he didn't actually add them in time.
Yeah, well, like, losing 3 Overlords that early, especially not being prepared for it, it's going to definitely halt your economy pretty badly. And
goes 7 drones here, no Spores.
This is kind of looking dangerous for Shine.
He doesn't need an Evo Chamber for Spores. I hope he doesn't forget that.
Well,
used to be that way for a long time.
Well, don't we all remember that?
Yeah.
Ooh, goodness.
Well, now the Zergling, he comes over here, he sees the third base, and he's like, oh, okay, we're just going to expand, but where's all your gas going?
Yeah, that's what he's got to be wondering right now.
And, you know, he can react in time. If he sees the blurs of DTs, he can make, like, 3 separate overseers at each base, and he shouldn't take too much damage.
Needs to pull his drones, too. Okay, you might actually see the blurs right now. They're in the watchtower. Okay, he sees it. He's reacted. He's moved his Zerglings. He's absolutely seen it. And how does he respond? He's actually not making overseers, so I'm like, maybe he didn't see it, but I swear, man, looks like he reacted there.
No Spores, no overseers, no nothing just yet. He's just coming in here at the front and trying to kill some probes with Soulings, and now the DTs are in the base.
He has no idea.
He's actually microing his Lings right now. Okay, now starts to pull the drones. DT over here not being microed. Now he targets it. So there's one in the main as well. He's losing a lot of mine time. Don't forget, at home, SOS has actually a Nexus. He's forcing 3 overseers here. And the DT actually escapes. Yeah.
Wow.
And still one in the main actually going for the spawning pool. Is not going to get that before speed finishes, but might get it, actually.
No, that overseer will come in time. But, I mean, this is so much economic damage. This is actually ridiculous damage considering how long those drones have been pulled from the main and the natural and the third. They all had to be pulled. And
he lost a lot. Look, 63 to 49.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a 4th base up yet. And this Warp Prism is certainly going to make some more DTs. At the very least, going to make some Zealots. And might even be able to finish off that spawning pool.
I definitely think we're going to see a Blink Stalker follow-up from this. It's just too much damage. It's exactly what SOS wanted to happen. He wanted to get that 3rd down safely while doing economic damage. To that extent, it's pretty extreme. And from here, it's going to be a very comfortable Blink Stalker push.
Yeah.
Or Colossus.
Well, he could do both. You know, 6 gates going up here.
Yeah.
The Robo Bay may actually not, he may not even use it. It may be a fake or something like that. We don't know. I mean, I don't think that Shine has actually sent anything to scout for that. So unlikely it's really a fake, but I think he's just going to go with a Colossi +2 and a bunch of Stalkers.
Yep. It's definitely looking that way, and he's going to look to hit at that gold base. I mean, I don't see a way that Shine could hold this. He's going to be in such big trouble. Even sending this Warp Prism over here to the main base, there is an Overseer waiting.
You just warp in a bunch of Stalkers and snipe it. He's got a ton of gates he's just finished adding right now, so he'll have a bunch of warpment potential here. Looks like he's going to go for drones, may kill the spawning pool on his way out. Shine is actually not paying attention. He does not notice this at all.
Wow. He's actually fighting with drones against 2 DTs. That's never going to happen.
They can actually kill the queen and then get lifted to safety.
He can even kill the spawning pool if he wants to.
Yeah, I think he's actually going to kill that and lift out.
He's going to focus it down. One more hit. He gets it, and he lifts away.
And that's going to be huge for this push, considering Zerglings are very useful against, especially Stalkers. If he has no Zerglings in time for this push, could definitely kill him.
Do you think this was part of his plan all along to target the spawning pool? Like,
well, I know he did so much damage to it originally that he probably was thinking in the back of his mind, like, hey, wow, beautiful blink.
Yeah, these roaches getting totally caught out. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing over there, especially with all these units of SOS in position. And now can blink after these roaches as well.
He's just trying to do some counter pressure to try to buy time for the follow-up push he knows is coming, but it just didn't work out for him there. He gets caught awkwardly, loses some more roaches that he's going to need for the defense.
Yeah,
he wanted to just, you know, bring the units back and then save the roaches, but it was a disaster there.
I'm kind of thinking Shine should have gone for that all-in.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel you on that one, Glade.
His macro game is just not working out at all.
No, he's supply block now when he needs the units the most.
He's making 3 roaches. He can't make any more.
It's a lot of roaches here.
Right in his face right now. The force fields are not enough.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of roaches. He doesn't have his warp in. He's actually going to have to recall here. Bit overzealous there, SOS, trying to attack like that.
Doesn't take too much damage though, and does a pretty nice trade at the same time. All he really has to do against mass roaches like this is just build a bigger death ball, because simply roaches are so cost ineffective. Looks like you're going to see another engagement.
Yeah, this time he's got 2 Colossi. He needs to micro those back, and he does. There's just so many Stalkers. They've got +2 upgrades, and the roach count here just not enough. He's not able to close the distance on those Colossi this time. And he takes an engagement aggressively here. I think that was a mistake. I think he saw, like, I've got the roaches to win this fight and wanted to push that advantage, but just not enough. And there's, you know, the second Colossus there, a big deal.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, the longer this game goes on, and if he just stays on roach tech, it's just going to get worse and worse for him. They're so cost ineffective, especially in supply. And I mean, against Stalkers and Colossi, you don't want roaches. You want Hydras, as well as maybe Vipers or Corruptors, at the very least.
Definitely needs Corruptors.
You can see Shine's kind of falling apart. He's not mining gas at this base. He has 1 guy in gas at the other bases. And look at his minerals compared to his gas. He needs gas right now. He's just not mining it.
Yeah.
He has the extractors. He's just not using it. He's kind of like, I don't know, he's crumbling under the pressure. It looks that way.
Yeah. It's really tough to go up against a player of the caliber of SOS as well in a high-pressure situation like this. Nexus Cannon goes down, unpowering actually a few of these cannons. May have to warp in some units to deal with this. Yeah, in fact, I think he certainly will. But the bigger problem is that the roaches are not at home where they need to be to help defend this. All he's got is roaches, roaches, and more roaches. 16 on the way, 17 on the way. It's not going to be enough. Burrow movement, totally useless upgrade right now that these roaches have.
Oh, wow. Beautiful response, getting DTs. There's simply no overseers whatsoever. And this is going to do absolutely nothing. And from here, SOS is going to crush the natural and the main.
Yeah, this game is over, man.
Wow.
Definitely is. I mean, GG, there it is. So SOS takes a big game number 1. I mean, we didn't see any cheese, you know? Like, he just didn't go for it. We saw him try to play a macro game against one of the best players of JINAIR, and he got stomped.
Yeah, certainly did.
And I feel like this is one of the biggest wild cards, the biggest like threats from Samsung. This player that's so known for all-in, so dangerous, and he didn't make anything happen. And I think that's a huge relief for Samsung. And from here, I think the only thing they got to really worry about for SOS is Roro.
Yeah, Roro is the ace in the hole. I think they could send him out here next, but I think it's better to wait for Sejong. I think actually going into this next match, who are you guys feeling? I feel like it might be time to pull out Stork. No joke. I think actually he could be a good choice to actually PvP here. He's got the confidence. He's got so much experience. Play SOS in a PvP, and then you're looking pretty solid on Frost. I like it.
Well, I mean, his stats alone for Stork, 4 and 3, not the best against Protoss. I'm kind of questioning like exactly who they could play though. Looking at this, I mean, maybe they want to just send out someone who's going to get slaughtered, maybe, or like have a small chance and just wait for Roro on King Sejong.
That's the way I feel. I feel like this next game too, like they had to win that first game, because if you got SOS against someone who isn't Roro on this next map, I don't know.